guys, I just wanted to show you real quick what I'm going to do with my frozen microgreens. I have not done this before, but it's something I've been wanting to do, and I had some microgreens that were kind of piling up a bit, and I did not want to let them go too far where I had to toss them, so I just popped them in the freezer real quick. And then I thought I'll thaw them and spread them out on these trays for my dehydrator, and then dehydrate them up, and then I can just sprinkle them in and add them to any dish I want instead of having to buy parsley and those kinds of things just for, I mean, parsley has like no flavor. It's just more for the color and to, you know, make things look prettier in my opinion, but maybe there's some other things behind it. Either way, I want to use my microgreens for that. I don't want to have to buy parsley anymore. And it's much better because it's so fresh, and we grew it ourselves and I know where it came from. So I actually have some kale here as well because I didn't want to lose my kale either. And I thought I would throw them in smoothies, but I really don't make smoothies very often. So I thought I'm just going to dehydrate them as well and then do the exact same thing. Just add them into any dish that I want. So we'll see how it goes. I've never done this before, but we'll see what they turn out at the end. Can't imagine it not working out. So I'm going to just spread my kale on the tray. Spreading them all out. And I really don't have too much here, so I am going to just do like one baggie worth on each tray. And these are already actually pre-chopped, I think. I mean, I know they were, but I don't know, like maybe semi-chopped. Anyway, cut up a little bit, just spreading them out. If you have any suggestions on how else to use frozen kale or even microgreens, let me know in the comments, because I mean, other than smoothies, that's the only way I know to use them. I mean, I'm sure there's other ways. Like, I'm sure I could just toss them in a soup or whatever, just like this. But I don't know. I just like the idea of it on my shelves instead of filling up my freezer. So, there's my kale. And now my microgreens. They are pretty wet, so I'm going to put this towel under them actually. And this is a mixture of microgreens. It's got cabbage, salad mix, maybe even some broccoli in here. Evan, please don't, you've got dirty fingers. So it's got a mixture of things. Now, I did not chop these up, but I'm pretty sure they're going to break apart pretty well after they're all dehydrated. Maybe if I had chopped them up though, they would have spread more nicely on the tray, but I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Doesn't look very appetizing right now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty nice once it's all done. I'm really curious what it's going to taste like. I mean, I'm sure there's not going to be any taste, but I like microgreens so much, I'm just curious. Will they be kind of yummy? I don't know. We'll see. I could in the future, if they turn out good, we could season them and see how they taste for a little snack too. Who knows? We always have microgreens growing. So, anyways, that's the microgreens. I'm going to pop them in the dehydrator and see how they turn out. So I'll show you guys when it's all done, and hopefully I can just use them just like as my parsley, wherever I put parsley, and substitute with my dehydrated microgreens and some kale that I happen to have on hand. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so after dehydrating the microgreens and the kale, to be honest, I forgot to watch my time and how long it took, but I would guess the kale didn't take as long because I think it was more spreadable. The kale took, man, I'm so bad at guessing, but I want to say, I might be way off, but maybe 6 hours, 4, 6, somewhere between 4 and 6. I could be way off, but I that's my guess. But you just watch it. I mean, that's all you do. That's the thing. I'm bad about watching the time or setting it to a certain time, because I just turn it on for a while and then I check it, you know, periodically. And anyways, so you kind of just watch it. But the kale I was really pleased with. It dried really, really well. And it's actually pretty tasty just on its own. So if I salted it or put some seasonings on it before I had dehydrated, I bet this would be really yummy, just like kale chips. Super duper tasty. The microgreens, not so much. So what happened with the microgreens is when I pulled them out of the freezer, they all stayed clumped together, and honestly, they could have worked. They really could have, but I don't know, they just didn't look real nice. They kind of dried really just kind of in blobs because they were all meshed together. I think if I had freshly chopped them and put them straight on a tray, it would have turned out so much better, rather than cutting them, putting them in the freezer, and then dehydrating them. So if I was to dehydrate microgreens again, I would just cut them and put them straight on the tray, and sometime I will try that because I want to see how that will do and if I can replace my parsley. With this kale, I could totally kind of use it as a replacement and crumble it up, and I probably will. I'll just toss it in my soups. I have this potato soup that I always throw kale in, and I'll just toss this kale into that potato soup, which will work great. But yeah, the microgreens I think are smaller and itty bitty, and I think they would work better for parsley, like a parsley replacement. But like I said, they dried like, if I had worked with it, I could have crumbled it up. I just don't think it would look that pretty. And it probably would have been fine, honestly, but I have so many microgreens growing all the time that I just tossed it into the food bin. Yes, I just tossed it into the food bucket, and I'm just gonna try it again, but with fresh greens, and see how that goes. But anyways, the kale was great. It tastes pretty yummy actually just on its own, so some seasoning would have been, totally wish I had done that, because this would be a wonderful little snack. But I'm going to vacuum seal it and store it up, and I will use it in a potato soup one day. All right, well, that's that. I just wanted to let you know how that all worked out for me and how it went with dehydrating microgreens and kale that had just popped out of the freezer. And like I said, the microgreens, if I had bought them at the store and spent the money, I probably totally would have crumbled them up and they would have been just fine. But since I have them all the time, I was like, you know what, I'm going to toss these and do a nicer batch so they turn out nice and pretty and look good. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.